Hello and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer and today I'm going to share this video with you showing you how to make this card here using some of the stamps from one of the new stamp sets in the Occasions catalogue. So the stamp set is the Magical Day stamp set. It features a great range of mermaids and wizards and knights and dragons and unicorns, and it also has some coordinating dies to help you cut them out as well. So for example, with this dragon here, I've just stamped on a piece of paper, but you can also colour it and then cut it out with a die, and it's all nicely cut out, much easier than fussy cutting, which is what I had to do before I initially got the dies. So even if you may not specifically like this particular stamp set, it doesn't appeal because you don't have young kids or people to give cards to with these images, you'll still learn a few principles to do with colouring, and you might like even the basic card idea as some inspiration for a card for you. So I'm going to show you two methods. I'm going to show you the new stamping blends, and then I'm also going to show you the Stampin' Up watercolour pencils as well. So the big thing to remember when you're doing this is to use the right ink. So with the stamping blends, you should use Memento ink when you're stamping. So the stamping blends are alcohol markers, and so when you're blending and colouring, you don't want the black lines and things to smudge or mix in, so that is why you need to use Memento. However, when you are using the watercolour pencils, you don't want to use Memento. You need to use archival black ink, which is this one here. So these go together, watercolour pencils, archival ink, and with the blending pens, Memento and the stamping blends. Alright, so let's get started. So what I need to do first is stamp my image. So I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to use my Memento ink and stamp first, and then you can cut it out with your die. Sorry about that. So that way you can position it exactly in the centre. So the dies that I'm using are the stitch shape Framelits dies. So you get 4 circles, 4 ovals, and somewhere 4 squares. So I have photocopied the pictures so you can see what they are, and put magnetic plate sheet underneath so they don't drop off and things, and I know what should be there and what shouldn't be there. That's a good way to store them. Alright, so I'm going to cut that out using my Big Shot. So I'll just quickly do that over here. It's a bit of a close-up in the photo, but hopefully you can see it. Alright. And because it's got those little stitches in it, it's a little bit harder to pull out. But there you go. Alright, now so for my colouring. So sometimes they say it's good to just let it dry a little bit, or heat set it. Heat set means get a heat tool and just dry it quickly. So I've actually stamped one before. Now these two here are both stamped, one in Memento and one with archival. I can't remember which, so I've put an A for archival and an M on the back for Memento. So that's the one that we're going to use with the stamping blends. So I don't know if you can tell, but there are 2 colours. This is Old Olive, and there's a dark and a light. So this one here, it says on the side, is dark, and this one here somewhere says light. Alright, here and here. So you have 2 tips. You've got a finer tip and a thicker tip. So I'm going to start with the thicker tip. And they are quite tight to put on, but that's important because they're alcohol. They will dry out. So what I'm going to do is just slightly colour in the lighter colour first my whole dragon. Now, it's going to take me a little while. I don't want to rush it too much. So I'm going to pause and colour and then come back to it. Okay, so I've coloured over my whole dragon, put the lids on. So now I'm going to colour in the scales and all those extra bits. So I'm going to use my narrow tip for that and carefully colour all those in. So I'll do that again, pause, and then come back to you when I've done. Alright, there we go. So I've coloured it in now. So going back to my original card, I had part of it darker, the body and things, so I think I actually just coloured that in the face in the darker colour, but I'm going to do a little bit more blending this time. So using my darker colour, I'm just going to sort of colour in the scales a bit, like So, and then I'm just sort of gonna outline the body and around the leg in the darker colour. And sorry, I'm kind of rushing it a bit, but trying to keep it within the lines. There is a colour lifter too if you kind of go over the lines, but I haven't yet bought one, but that's on my list to get. So you can see the lines quite marked there. I might just use the other thicker end and just kind of blend the colours down a bit like that. And maybe just in here a bit. Alright, so now I'm going to switch to my lighter colour and sort of try and blend those in a bit so it's not quite so defined. Sort of mixing those colours in a bit more. So it takes a little while to get sort of used to the colours and the blending and things, but once you get the idea. So those colours are blended a bit more. Go back to my narrower side. I didn't on that one, but I'm going to... What's that? Is that the lighter one? Want the darker one again? Close it up. And get the darker one, the finer tip. I'm going to colour in these scales too, so it matches. And if I want to blend those a little bit, I can kind of blend them in a bit. You can have a play and you can get that different colouring and things. I haven't made the face darker on this one, but you can. But now the colours are a bit more toned in together. Alright, so that's using the Stampin' Blends and the Memento ink. So now I'll colour it using the watercolour pencils. So this one, remember, is stamped in archival ink. So the watercolour pencils come in a cardboard box, kind of this size. I've put them into one of our clear cases, and that way I can also keep my blender pen with it as well. So I'm going to stick to the same colour and use my old olive. But these colours are kind of all the brights, and then it's got white and black in there as well. So just gonna colour it over overall. Now it looks kind of messy with a pencil and things, but that's okay. I'll carry on and then come back when I've coloured it all. Alright, so I've coloured it in. If you look very closely, you can see all the pencil lines and it does look quite messy. I did press a little bit harder in the scales and things, or I haven't done his hand. Okay, so what I'm going to now use is my blender pens. So these got a special kind of something mixture inside them, and it helps me to blend the colours. So as can you see now that it's kind of blending those colours, and you don't really see pencil marks anymore, it's more like watercolouring. So this paper that I have used is just standard watercolour, just standard Whisper white paper, nothing special. Alright, but if you're watercolouring with aqua painters, then you do need to use paper that is more absorbent of water. You'd need to use either shimmery white paper, or you would need to use watercolour paper. Go into those little, I'm kind of rushing this, but you get the general idea. So if you have a quick look at that now, then it's definitely blended more. Okay, now if I want a bit more colour in some areas, then I'm kind of colour over it a bit more, a bit darker, or I could put more colour to start with and things, but you can add a bit more colour. So this one doesn't give it as much a contrast compared to the Stampin' Blends, but it is a nice way to colour. Obviously I could use maybe different colours as well to give it a bit more contrast, but that's using the watercolour pencils and things. And you know, I could spend a bit more time on it or add another colour, but that gives you the general idea. So just remember, watercolour pencils, use the archival ink. Stampin' Blends, use the Memento ink. Alright, so I'll just quickly show you putting my card together. So that's the one I coloured earlier. So I've just got some basic grey card stock here, A4 cut in half, and I'm going to use this paper here, which is one of the Myths and Magic DSP. So I'm going to adhere that on the front. Then, I don't know if you can tell, but with dimensionals, I've lifted it up slightly. And I'm going to adhere that, and then I'm going to stamp my little Hope Your Day is Magical. So I'll get all those bits ready and then we can put it together. So because I used Old Olive ink, I'm going to use my Old Olive ink pad as well. Now I like to use scraps of paper, so as you can see, this is a scrap. So I'm going to stamp kind of in the middle there. Hopefully I haven't gone too low. Find my everyday label punch. Punch that out. Now I have gone too low, but that's okay, because guess what? Turn it over, get a second chance, stamp it a little bit higher this time. And upside down, but that's alright, and then I can do it again. So remember, with your paper you get a second chance with the other side. So that looks fairly square. Alright, so I've got my bits in, let's put it together. Okay, time to assemble it all. So, this is what's on the other side, which is actually very nice to use. A little bit reluctant to cover it up, but that's okay. Works with this card. So I like to use Tombow liquid adhesive. So I'm going to adhere that. So that piece on the top is 10 centimeters by 14.3. Right, I'm going to use mini dimensionals, and you can see a bit of the colour has come through with the water, with the blends. So I'm just going to put a few of these on, and if you're wondering why it's got highlighter on it, because if you look at this one here with no highlighter, you stick it down, you can't tell if you have taken off the adhesive on the back. So by having the highlighted side, you see the yellow, you know, oh, I still need to pull those off. So I'll do that. And of course they don't come quickly when I'm trying to video. Alright. A little bit fiddly, the smaller ones, but more economical. So let's place that about there. And then taking these ones off as well. So it is a simple card design, but very effective, and you can change up the image, unicorns, mermaids, whatever you like, and put that there like so. Now you wouldn't have noticed, but inside I've got this nice washi strip there just to add to it. So I'm going to do that on my card base as well. So this is going to fit inside. So there are 3 cool sparkly washi tape. So I'm going to use this one. We could go for, so let's try this one for a change, shall we? That side looks a little bit dirty actually, so let's put it on this side. So try and get it straight, go slightly over the edge. Use my paper snips to snip it off. Don't you like that sparkle? Very cool. Alright. Okay, and then adhere it with tape or your liquid glue and stick it down, okay? So this one has got this washi tape and this one, that one there. So, where is all this product from? So in the Occasions catalogue, on pages, can't see the page numbers, 56 and 57 is this wonderful Myths and Magic suite. Okay, you'll see lots of wizards and knights and this kind of thing here. So this is the stamp set with the matching coordinating dies. This is the washi tape I use, and these are the wonderful papers at the bottom as well. And there's also some cool glimmer paper, which I haven't used on this, but I'll use on another project. So I've cut into some of my sheets, but this is some of what there is. So here we go, in Knights and Dragons with that pattern on the back. This one here, this is a nice colour, fresh fig with clouds on the other side. This one's very cool, kind of bubbly but sparkly. Flowers on the other side. The mermaids, and just a simple pattern on the back. And here's our wizards with another pattern on the back. So all sorts of possibilities, and they're 12 by 12, so nice and big. So all sorts of things in this suite. So I hope you've liked seeing it. So this is the card design I made. Just to show you, it's not finished, but to give you another idea, here's a stamped image from another stamp set. if you were to mount that as circle and then not hope your day is magical, but happy birthday at the bottom, maybe texture emboss the background or something. Same card design, completely different stamp set, nice layout, nice simple card. So thanks for watching, hope you found it useful. Lots of information, I know, a little bit longer than I thought, but enjoy, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks for watching, bye.